Welcome to Ask Gwen, everyone. Remember how I said the last time I had Mandy on, which was only a couple weeks ago. Remember how I said we're going to do a second episode about keto? Well, this is it. This is the second episode. And so, for those of you that haven't gone back and listened to the first episode, you might as well all have my assistant put them together so you can hear episode number one, episode number two together. And so, Mandy, I'm going you take it away, and I want to ask you first of all, I know you have the philosophy of ketos and burritos, meaning you don't have to be perfect all the time. But how do how does one start keto without being shocked to your system?
Great question. Thanks so much for having me on again. I love this. I love chatting with you and spreading the good nutrition news of the keto lifestyle. So somebody just really getting started without being overwhelmed and like freaking out is really just starting slowly by really becoming carb conscious is what I kind of coach people on. So we eat a diet of whatever we eat, right? And we kind of don't really have an awareness of like how many carbohydrates we're really consuming. And carbohydrates essentially breaks down as sugar, whether that's fruit, whether that's cake, whether that's burritos, all of that stuff converts to sugar, which ultimately could help you gain weight. And that's not what we want. Most people want to lose weight and function better. So in order to really function better and lose weight and increase our energy and optimize our health and performance, we want to really have an awareness of carbohydrates and like how much we're really consuming. So instead of just quitting carbs right away, we just start trading out certain things, right? So instead of having a sandwich with bread, maybe you could have a low carb wrap, or instead of having a bagel for breakfast, switch that over to eggs and bacon. Does that make sense?
Yes, but
Yeah, so just
I don't do
making those little
sandwiches.
changes.
I don't do sandwiches, you guys. I haven't done them for years upon years, and people know that about me because of my stupid overbite. I can't slate a sandwich to save my life.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say it has to be peanut butter and jelly. That's the only sandwich I can eat without it making math. So me eating a low carb wrap, I could easily do that. But my favorite whole thing in the world is a nice bowl of pasta. So what do we do, those of us that like pasta a little too much, intent?
So I think it really comes down to like, what are your goals, right? Like carbs, we in the keto space are like vilified. Carbs aren't all full on bad. They have a process and a reason why they're in your body for an energy source. It's just not a good energy source because when you consume a bowl of pasta, for example, you're going to get some energy. Your body's going to burn those carbohydrates as the energy, but then it burns so fast that it perpetuates more and more. Your body wants more and more and more. The difference and the reason why people have so much success on keto is because you're reducing your carbohydrate intake and you're training your body to use your own body fat for fuel instead of using those carbohydrates. And when you use your body fat for fuel and you have ketones in your system, you're going to have energy that's more of a slower burn. So think about when you start a campfire, right? And you gather a whole bunch of little twigs. Those twigs burn very quickly because there's not such a amount of substance there, right? They burn fast, they're just little. But if you burn a log, that burns for several hours and it's a slow thing or a slow burn, and then it will fizzle out. So that's the reasoning and kind of science analogy behind like why carbohydrates are addicting. But if you want to enjoy a bowl of pasta, like go ahead and enjoy a bowl of pasta on occasion. But if it's pasta after pasta after pasta after pasta and you're not losing weight and you're not having the results that you want, then you're going to have to start making some changes and choices.
Yeah.
I love palmini. It is a artichoke noodle. So it's made out of artichoke hearts, and it's similar to pasta. Obviously, it doesn't taste exactly the same, but it's a really, really good substitute. But at the end of the day, it really just matters on what is the outcome that you're looking for doing the ketogenic lifestyle. Instead of fearing like, oh my God, am I never going to have pasta again? Really sit down with yourself and ask like, hey, like these are my goals. This is the diet that I want to do. I'm going to allow myself XYZ bowls of pasta in my life, and I'm going to have that as an enjoyment. However, if I am not going to see results, then I'm going to switch over to, maybe some zoodles or palmiti or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, my next question, and people know this, and it's a guilty pleasure of mine. What are we going to do about those of us who still have a sweet tooth after giving up sugar, aka wine? Thank you very much. Giving up wine, we still have a sweet tooth, aka me. I still have a sweet tooth, and my big weakness is peanut butter cups. That is
Mm-hmm.
my big weakness. So, are we allowed? My question is, are we allowed to have? Because I know that's sugar right there. Are we allowed to have cheat days, or do we just go full force?
So again, it kind of really depends on like the goals and outcomes that you're looking for. People just kind of jump into this like, I'm going to do the ketogenic lifestyle because I want to lose weight, right? Well, if you want to lose weight and you have significant fat loss, then I would suggest probably not cheating for quite a while, because you're going to have to develop better habits, right? Sometimes we just don't really execute the diet for long enough, or we think that we're going to like lose weight in a week, and then when we don't lose weight in a week, we just like binge eat, and it just does a whole cycle over and over again. But there's plenty of substitutes for Reese's peanut butter cups or candy and stuff like that. So I think it's just finding a better low carb alternative to replace your bad habit. Now, does that mean that you should have tons and tons of keto-fied peanut butter cups? No, but there's definitely options where you're able to make cacao or peanut butter cups with cacao and stevia instead of cacao and sugar.
Yeah.
I have a very easy fat bomb recipe, a peanut butter cup recipe that is 100% keto, and you can never tell the difference.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. And now, um, how does keto affect neurological disability, also known as cerebral palsy? How? Because my metabolism burns so quick, even sitting in a chair it burns quick, that I'll eat pretty much anything you put in front of me. And I'm so skinny as well that I lost weight after I even got skinnier after losing my mom in 2010, my dad in 2019, and my normal weight is under it's 100, it's exactly 100 pounds. My normal weight is 100 100 pounds.
Mhm.
So for those of us who have quick metabolisms, like I do, um, what would keto do to us? Those of us who burn energy just sitting up in a chair due to cerebral palsy and have 1,000 muscle spasms a day.
Yeah, I think it really fundamentally comes down to figuring out your macro calculations. So, you know, you can go on ketogenic.com. I absolutely love that website. I'm actually certified through those people. And if you go on ketogenic.com, you can figure out exactly how much fat, exactly how much protein, and exactly how much carbohydrates for the ketogenic diet that you're supposed to be consuming. So everybody's individual. So what I would have for myself would be completely different than you, and somebody else would be different as well. Like all three of us would be completely different in terms of our calculations. So you're able to put in how much working out you do. If you have a general idea of what calories you do consume per day, you're able to put in you want to gain weight or lose weight. All of that stuff is calculated out for you on ketogenic.com. That's really the only calculator that I recommend as well, because there's so many people that message me and they're like, well, I put my calculations in and I got this and then everything's different. So you have to really find that, like just do the accurate calculator, and that's the only one I really trust.
Okay, give us that website one more time. I know I heard you, but I want my audience to hear you.
Yeah, ketogenic.com.
Ketogenic.com.
Yep.
Ketogenic.com. You guys Google it, figure out what you need, because then if you come back to Mandy and say, this is what I pulled off ketogenic.com, Mandy's
Yep.
going to give it, if you give her base point, Mandy's going to help you try and guide you in the right direction. Don't, what I tell you right now is don't message Mandy without doing your own research, and then don't let Mandy figure out for you, because you're going to be totally different than the next Susie Q walking down the street.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
I don't usually recommend, like, I think getting an idea of what you should be eating is definitely helpful. Where I don't want people to get tripped up on is putting all of that stuff in the, like, tracking every single day. Like, it's a really good idea to go on ketogenic.com, get your idea of what your macros should be, and then for the first 30 days, don't even really worry about that. Worry about making good, clean choices. Like, be consistent in your choices, and then if you're not seeing results at the end of 30 days, start tracking exactly what you're eating every single day, if that makes sense. Because what happens is people get really overwhelmed with the tracking and don't make good choices, and then they get frustrated, so then they fall off. So I try to set people up for success in the most path of least resistance right away. It's very, very good to get an idea of what your macro profile should be, track for maybe a day or two just to see where you're currently at. And then as time progresses, just stick to a diet of meat, veggies, healthy fats consistently for at least 4 weeks. And then if you're not seeing results based on eating a meat, veggies, healthy fats, then we can start tracking. I just wanted to kind of clarify that a little bit, because I don't want people to get frustrated that they have to, like, do all this sciencey and math calculations, if that makes any sense.
I will. I I appreciate it. But my next question is, I literally live with a person that doesn't eat salt, doesn't eat meat, number one, and
Mm-hmm.
eat um doesn't eat meat, eats chicken, eats fish, and her daughter, my stepsister, is actually on the ketogenic diet. I told you guys this before, And
Mhm.
so when you say eat meat, um, when we don't have meat in this house because of she doesn't eat it. I mean, she'll barely eat turkey, let alone meat. Whereas eat I will eat anything you put in front of me. I try and stick to a plant-based diet to the best of my ability. But for those stringent eating habits, how's keto going to help you?
So I think in your case, you're kind of just at the mercy of like whatever you have available.
Yeah.
I ultimately think I'm not versed in this. This is not my wheelhouse. I do know that it's possible. I'm just a personal meat eater, and I think that this is just my philosophy. I have no disrespect for anybody that chooses however they want to eat. Like I said, I'm fully supportive of keto, burrito, and otherwise. I just might not necessarily have an understanding as to why or whatever for your specific case. Um, I do know that there is vegan and vegetarian ways to do keto. I just know that you have to just heavy rely on fats, probably take a supplement for iron, protein, amino acids, and things like that. And then really just have vegetables and cooked in healthy fats. I would assume that that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that you should have some animal protein, and that's just how I think that our bodies are designed based on my personal studies. But again, I think everybody's bodies are different and everybody's microbiome and their guts are different. And, what works for one person and what my philosophies are could be completely different and opposite for somebody that, maybe needs to do a more plant-based, no meat diet. I know that that's not a really specific answer. I'm not sure
Well, that's okay. No,
how to answer that
I'll do my
specifically for
own.
other people.
I'll do
I
my
just
own research.
personally,
But
I just,
I have a really wonky GI tract. I mean,
mhm.
wonky. And I was thinking keto, in my case, may help with my wonky GI tract. It's been wonky for years. It's been
Mhm.
I've been battling this stupid GI tract for years, and it has a portion of it's completely having to do with cerebral palsy, you guys. I didn't get diagnosed with a wonky GI tract just because of um, it didn't fall out of the clear blue sky, nor am I on quest to get diagnosed with asthma because I feel like I have asthma. But I
Yeah.
am on a quest to get diagnosed with asthma. So what I'm looking for is alternative diets here because I need, just like you, Manny, I need to control my health just a little bit more than I did in previous years.
Yeah. No, 100%. Um, I'm kind of right there with you. I know I say that I keto and burrito, but I'm definitely going to have to hop back on the keto more strict. I do ultimately feel amazing when I do eat really low carb and higher fats and proteins just because just from a cognitive perspective, not running on carb brain and reducing that brain fog and, just performing at my optimal best is like so crucial. Do I think that burritos are bad? No, I just think for right now where, you and I both are in similar situations, just health wise, it's, you're eating the way your body is meant to be fueled. Our bodies, if you think back into nature, we only really had access to meats and veggies because we had to hunt for our meat, we had to pick our veggies, and we had access to seasonal fruit. So there really wasn't a lot of sugar, carb, etc., even available. And that's how our bodies are designed to eat. If you think back into the way that our ancestors lived, getting into ketosis is very natural. Getting into, having this meat, veggies, healthy fat type of diet is very natural, for you. And that's really what we should be eating regardless, health challenge or not. We shouldn't be eating burritos all day, every day, or pizza or candy or sugary drinks and stuff like that. Our bodies aren't meant to have that. And that's what happens when we do overconsume that stuff. It's not just about fat loss. It really is about making sure that our body processes are performing at our optimal best. And the way that that happens is by eating clean meat, veggies, healthy fats, the way that our bodies are intended to be fueled.
And how do you feel about hormones being injected into meat? This and the Monsanto's thing, and how do you feel about that?
I feel that it's definitely a thing. It definitely causes people issues. I think that, if you eat, I think it's very important to eat as close to nature as intended. And unfortunately, people like Monsanto and, these quote unquote trusted government regulators or whatever are supposed to be helping us, when in actuality, they don't really care to help us. And they actually want to make sure that they're turning a profit. So they're going to do what they can to make sure that they're producing as much product as they can, with not really caring much about our body processes, or there's not enough research out there to show that like this stuff is injecting with hormones and like antibacteria and whatever else, how that affects the human body. Like if you're eating a chicken that's been injected with hormones, you're getting that hormone too. Why do you think young ladies going through puberty at early as 8 years old now?
Yeah.
It's definitely a problem. We can probably do a third podcast just on that. I don't want people to like fear meat. Like I definitely don't eat 100% grain-free, grass-fed beef all of the time, or meat or whatever all of the time. But I do try as much as I can. Butcher Box is a really good opportunity or company that does all grass-fed meats. But I don't want anyone to think like, especially if it's out of budget or whatever, to pressure themselves to do that because they fear that. I think it's just do it in layers, do it as much as you can. Try to choose organic when it's on sale, grass-fed when it's on sale. That's kind of what I do. But like if you're changing your diet from like eating pizza and junk food and Doritos and all of those things, and then going into a ketogenic lifestyle, stop worrying about whether or not it's grass-fed. Just worry about eating meat and veggies. I think that it's important to definitely do the crossover as much as you can. But if you had a choice between, I guess, like a dirty chicken, which would be like, just a standard grocery store bought chicken, and Doritos, of course I would want you to buy and eat the chicken because you're still going to get some nutrients in there regardless of whether or not it has hormones or not. But just do your best and read your labels and do your own research. But like make the small changes where you can. But if you're going from like a junk food diet to like a keto diet, worry about making good meat, veggies, healthy fats choices versus grass-fed and organic,
Yeah. So you guys, this is completely up to you, but I would recommend you look into the keto diet. You consult with Mandy, first of all. Although, Mandy, are you taking any more consults? Are you focusing on health just a little bit more than?
I'm doing.
Mm.
Thank you for asking.
Oh
That's
yes,
so sweet.
yes,
I'm doing both. I'm definitely taking a step back a little bit. But I'm the type of person that will like wake up at 9 a.m. and not go to bed and get off my computer until 9 p.m. So I'm just making adjustments to my schedule. I'm not fully
yeah,
taking a complete step back.
Okay.
I'm the type of person, I do offer free consult calls. They're called busting your BS calls. So like, why aren't you losing the weight? Why can't you stick to the diet? You tell me all the reasons why you can't, and I'm going to tell you all the reasons why you can. We're going to navigate through that BS, and then I'm going to just try and offer you some solutions. So if that's something that you want, we can link a schedule. We can link the schedule in the show notes if you'd like. I don't even, like, the website's just my calendar link. It's not like a
Is it
domain or anything, so we can do that,
is
but I'm
it
happy to help
connected to
anybody.
is it
And the
connected
reason,
to your website?
yeah, no, it's not on my website, so it's just Calendly, but we can put it in the show notes. But essentially the reason why I do offer these calls isn't to like pressure you to like buy anything. That's not what they're about. I have tons of testimonies of people who have jumped on the calls that like were really scared to jump on with me, and they turned it out to be like amazing, beautiful conversations. I'm not there to like hard sell you or do anything. I do have programs that I could offer if I feel like it's a fit, but I just genuinely want to talk to as many people as I can and offer that support to someone, because when I was going through my health challenges and still going through it, it's hard to ask for help. It's hard to admit like, hey, I'm not really optimized, health-wise. I'm not losing the weight that I want. I'm not feeling as well as I'd like, and I'm maybe sabotaging myself. Having those hard conversations with yourself is kind of a difficult thing to do, to admit. And you and I both just struggling with chronic disease and illness and stuff inside of our own bodies. It's hard to admit it out loud, like, hey, I need some help. So I just always want to offer that lifeline to other people as well. So please take me up on that. And like, let's just have a conversation.
Yeah. No. Seriously, you guys. If you guys wanna go look into the keto diet, be my guest and contact Mandy, and I'll do my own research, and then I'll report back to you guys. That's what a journalist is supposed to do, report back to fans, yeah? And maybe
Yeah,
we can, maybe I'll bring a vegan keto expert on for those of you that are vegan, so that you have a different way of approaching things. Because the reasons why I want to look into keto for myself personally is to get away from the brain fog, and to get away, not necessarily for the weight weight gain and weight loss benefits. It's for the brain fog and me having more energy, because I am people laugh at me all the time. They're like, when you gave a coffee, you're the Energizer Bunny. Why do you need one more thing? Because I want to be as healthy as I can. And if you let cerebral palsy get ahead of you, if you let any chronic pain condition get ahead of you, you're you're going to jump ship and start at square one. So that's why I'm looking into the ketogenic diet myself. But I'll try and do my research, and then I'll bring some more experts on that have a different aspect than Mandy, and so we'll see what happens
I
with
love
that.
that.
And where can people find you, Mandy, and where can people get a hold of you if they choose to do so?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook at More Mandy P. Same thing with Instagram at More Mandy P. I also have my podcast, More with Mandy, and you can go join if you would like to join my keto club. It is just like my keto community. There's like 25,000 people in there. You can go to ketoclubwithmandy.com, and it will take you right to join my Facebook group, and come in there, check it out, ask questions. I'm really, really proud of that group, again, because when I was going through my own stuff, I didn't have anybody. So it's just very important for me to like create an amazing community of support. Again, whether you keto, burrito, vegan, no vegan, whatever you want, we just want you to be a better version of yourself, however that looks.
Yeah, however that looks, be a better version of yourself. And I hope you guys enjoyed this second part of this episode. And as I said, I'll be doing my research on the keto diet, and then I'll be also bringing more experts in about the keto diet, because this is only one person's perspective, and I know you guys want more out of me. So
Mhm.
I will catch you guys later. Bye, you guys.
Bye.